Hey friends, so I want to show you something that I'm super excited about. I want to overview the entire program of the One Person Empire so you can see what it exactly does, what's inside, and what you can expect. So I'm going to show you visually, because I'm a visual person, all what is included. So this is everything right here. This is pretty crazy if you look at it all together, but I'm gonna break it down very quickly for you so that you can get a great idea of how this can help you. Now, this is for somebody who wants to make a career change. They want to build their own business. They want to have more freedom over their own success. If you have a skill that you have developed in your career, great. Half the work is already done for you, I suppose, but also if you're not quite sure what you want to do, I've also built that into the program. So if you aren't quite sure, I teach you AI strategies and workflows so that you can actually support your business as a one-person business, but also if you would like a completely different career change. Right now, AI is definitely trending. A lot of employers are wanting people who are well versed in AI. And so, whether just for yourself so that it can make your life easier, or whether you're thinking about doing a complete different career change, either way, the best way to do that is to learn as you go, learn as you build. So, it's intertwined in everything into this program. But if you have a passion that you want to build a business around, then by all means, you can tailor it as you go. And I keep that in mind as I go through the modules. So let's cover the basics of what you're going to actually learn in this program. So, excuse me, these are the core uh, principles that we go over. So, CEO mindsets, sales psychology, marketing systems, customer retention, legal foundations, hiring and HR, finance and accounting, AI and automation, leadership and team building, leadership and, oh, I put that in there twice. My bad. Emotional intelligence. We're just going to move that right over there. Um, Business operations, negotiation, financial statements, cash flow management, and entrepreneurship psychology, brand building, leadership, productivity systems, networking, offer creation, AI for business owners, delegation, P&L management, business strategy, and crisis management. Now, in my business school, they did not comprehensively cover all the principles because you do need to customize it according to your industry. However, I felt that after 23 years of working with corporations, small businesses, freelancers, and building my own companies, that this made more sense. Like these are the principles that are in every single business. It doesn't matter what industry, what you're like, you have to learn these as somebody who is directing a company, even directing a team. Okay. But like all of these, I thought were like the main principles that I developed myself through actually performing the work, but also taking into account learning from formal education, a lot of mistakes on my part, and a lot of advice from the numerous mentors. Because even beyond college, I also had several mentors that I love to learn from, which I think is huge, right? You have somebody who is on your side, who's been there, done it, and teaches you the strategies that have worked for them. And the reality with business is markets change, customers' attention spans get smaller, and they're going to expect products, but the same principles of they want a quality product, they want someone to treat them well, they want someone to lead them through a system that has been well thought out. Those are all the same. So in the One Person Empire Academy, if you watch all the core 40 modules, which I'll explain here in a second, there is a quiz at the end, which if you score 80% or higher, I feel like you have an amazing shot at being very successful at all of this. There is a capstone project at the end that incorporates everything that you've learned into one project, which would be like your business idea. So you can take a niche. Again, if you don't know which niche that you want to do, this allows you to take an idea and to think it out so that you can at least learn the step-by-steps of how you would go about it. So you're not married to that niche, you're not married to the idea in your capstone project. That's very important to understand. You have to learn as you go, and the best way to learn is to actually do it. But if you already have something you're really excited about, then by all means, at the end of this program, you're going to have essentially a business plan. It's more than just a business plan because it also is going to give you the templates and all the other stuff I'm going to tell you about. So, If you post once a week in the community, and at the end, we would just appreciate an exit interview for your feedback. What worked for you? What could we do better? Um, as I built this program, anything that in my brain, I was like, man, I wish I would have had this when I was just getting started, or maybe this might make it easier for people to understand. I came at it from multiple perspectives on different learning styles, different industries, different ways of going about it because I know not everybody is cookie cutter. So that is the basic foundation behind the One Person Empire Academy. That gives you a very big bird's eye view of everything that I thought was super important when I started building this. Let's get into more specifics. Now, before I get into the core modules, which I'll explain that, which that is the MVP, the minimal viable product, meaning if you do these modules, this will give you the information to get from point A to point B of creating your own company around your chosen skill, around your chosen niche, around something that feels important to you. Okay, so mixed in are going to be things that support you in doing that. So the note mastery, which is actually this right here, it's a bundle of like all the basic aspects of any company, including business, leadership, accounting, laws, all the stuff. They're in these really easy to digest of like these are the main points that a new business owner needs to understand to get started, to get you going in the right direction. So this right here is a PDF packet that has multiple that I've also got them sprinkled in individually on the relevant modules. But basically, like these are the main concepts that right now you need to know and focus on instead of getting lost in the noise of all the other things that you could be looking up on YouTube and all this stuff. It's like these are what you need to know now just to get started and get going. So I have this for multiple topics, specifically the ones that we covered up here, especially. But these are just the tree trunks of this tree, okay? So right there, you've got all the notes that are going to save you a ton of time. Then there is actually a book, The One Person Empire. There is actually a PDF book, digital book. I do have it coming out on Amazon soon that actually explains how we ended up here today with this AI workforce era. It actually goes back throughout history of the industrial age, through some leaders that dramatically changed the environment of how we work, how we relate to each other, how companies bridge the gap with employees, how now everything is changing and how we all can feel it, even if you are young in your career, but you can sense it. And it explains that sense that you aren't able to put to words, it explains it right here. And what's great is this is also going to make you super knowledgeable with other business owners, with other employees, with other family members, friends, everyone who are like, I sense something's going on. They have a couple of guesses of why, but this actually historically backs up. Also, it's thought leadership. It's essentially like since I've been in corporate, I've been in entrepreneurship, I've done freelancing, I've done like so many different aspects. So it's pulling from different perspectives of how did we land here? And if we assume the trajectory of where it's going, here's what is going to align you for the best success coming into your career. So then we've got templates and tools, resources, SOPs, systems of processes, so that you're not guessing, so that you don't need to read every book out there on business, so that you have right now what you need to get going and you can focus on what is the next step, what is the next step, what is the next step. Then there's quizzes to help you with retention. Those are optional, except for the last one at the end, the big one, because that is the one that you need to get 80% or higher to make sure that these are landing. Community discussions. So I do have a school community that this is built on their platform. School is great for discussions with forums, with different topics. So you can quickly go in. If you have any questions at all, we've got you covered. Because when you go in with questions, you can post it if it's not terribly like time sensitive. You can get feedback from people about your capstone project, about each aspects of that. But basically, you have someone to help. Now, if you need one-on-one and you need an answer right now, it's time sensitive, or you just want to jump in and say hello to other people who are doing what you're doing, and you want some of the support, you want some good vibes, some mindsets, we do have a weekly Q&A. I jump on it I have coaches that jump on it, and we tackle any questions that you might have so that each week you can feel the momentum getting you to the next step, to the next level. Then we have leaderboard prizes, which, as you engage with the community, it actually unlocks secret modules that supplement your education, that go like they're deep dives into specifics, or they're things that I thought would be really helpful at that level. So depending on how much you engage, you unlock more modules for free. Those are for free. So GBTs and prompts. So you might notice this gentleman up here. So this is kind of how I envision my chat GBT, my AI, and I have created custom GBTs that are really great for a new business owner, specifically people who have never done this before or just getting started, they're growing. So these are actually AIs that are going to assist you from the beginning on doing research, on scaling, legal and risk, finances. Like these are already loaded with instructions to make sure that you are off to a great start and in the right direction. And then the modules all have visuals. I'm a very visual person, but I am doing several learning models. So I use text. I speak during presentations. I do different visuals so that it's very simple and easy to understand. Because one of the frustrations that I had at learning at so many different topics while I was doing business was just the noise, right? And so a lot of the core 40 modules, we'll get into that in a second, they're simple, they're simplistic, they're not trying to just keep your attention constantly with all this noise and movement and everything. It's to translate the information as concise as possible. Moving on. So, core 40, let's get into that. So, that is the minimum viable product, meaning those are the core modules that are going to help you get to where you want to go. There are 13 total phases, and each one's broken down. Now, right now, these are supplemental, these are the core. So we cover the one person empire mindset and why that is so important, because you are changing the way you view the world. You're changing your perspective. You are growing into a new identity, and we help foster that. So your AI foundations, your agentic workflows. These are all things that support a new business owner growing a new business so that you don't feel alone. You have support. Essentially, they're like your employees, but they're going to help you get your time management under control. They're going to help you get your focus under control. They're going to help you be more productive. They're going to help you know what is important to get to the next step. High ticket skill selections, offer creation, brand positioning, marketing and attention, sales and revenue, systems and automation. That is the bare minimum of creating your first business. Those are the things you need to focus on and perform. If you don't want to do sales because you don't like talking to people, I have bad news for you. This is going to help you to gain some social skills and how to talk to people as a business owner. Doesn't mean you need to be perfect at it. And if you really don't like doing it, you can hire someone else to do that. And we do explain how to hire people. But I'm telling you that if you actually go through these modules, it'll explain some of the basics of how to relate to other people, how to get them excited about your product, how to share it and feel confident about what you're doing. So the core 40 modules that are those phases right there are all of these right here. And I do include a link to this whiteboard so that you can see all of this. But yeah, so these are the modules right here, from employee to operator, high agency thinking, prompting as a power skill, AI agents, understanding high ticket skills, building your 90-day skill plan, choosing your primary income skill. And if you're not quite sure what you want to do, if you already know that, then it actually expands into how you can direct that towards solving expensive problems for your clients and get paid more, designing your signature offer, validating your offer, your founder story, how to be very clear and how to communicate your founder story, AI content repurposing, objection handling, building your first revenue pipeline. Again, we have templates and chat GPTs and all these things to help you to do that very fast. CRM and client tracking, money basics for a one-person business, financial dashboards, building your AI workforce. Those are, excuse me, just some of the things that we cover in that first batch of modules. So then we have this other section right here that is part of the 13 phases. So this goes into delivery and client and experience, finance and business health, leadership and self-management, scale and expansion, because you're going to need to know how to grow. Now, I call these are additional golden nuggets. I kept calling them golden nuggets, so I just called them gold modules. So these are supplemental and they're like ninja tips. These are going to help you accelerate everything that you're doing. And just to name a few of these, um, employee to operator, choosing your empire direction, prompting as a power skill. Let's see what else is in here. Positioning yourself in the market, content strategy. Like it basically goes in depth and they're more of demonstration modules. Then, so what my goal is within the first 30 days to at least get your first customer. I think we can get you much, much more, but we want to focus on getting you paid immediately. We want to be able to pay for your program, right? So then, if you want to start making side hustle money while you're taking the program, you actually can get commissions from sharing the program with other people that also want to build their program. It's really easy. It's an affiliate link. You get the link as soon as you sign up. You can start sharing this with all your friends, start telling them what you've learned, and they're like, "Where did you learn this?" Let me show you where I learned this. Here's the link. You can actually start creating commissions. So then there's the quiz. After about 60 days, I feel like you should be able to ace that quiz. You've gone through enough modules now. This is self-paced, so depending on your situation, you can do this, when you're not at your 9 to 5 job. We want to get you out of that 9 to 5 job and replace your income if you want to. And then after 90 days, I think 90 days is a sufficient amount of time to go through the modules, to go through the resources, to try out the things, to do the quizzes, and do your capstone final project. So, okay, so you're doing your capstone. Now, if you decided to go the AI route and you're like, I don't know what niche I want to do, but I do want to get into something else. I want to be in a relevant industry, and AI is definitely trending and going up, up, up. So we cover more in-depth modules. Now, these modules don't just do AI, but they show you how AI can be applied to different aspects of the business to fast track it even more. So creating products, if you want to be a consultant in your field, how to be a consultant and do coaching, how to work specifically with agents and building agents for other companies. The solo operating system is really great if you want to apply AI or like be more productive in your personal life and you want to apply that to your personal projects. And then the authority engine. So these go in and dive deeper. There's 30 modules in each one. Now those are $500 each to tap into those. Now, um, then you have some of these on the bottom here. See these? Those are what I was mentioning before that are sprinkled in. Now, if you engage with the community, you get free modules. One of those modules is actually something that helped me make a client $300,000 in a year with sales messaging. What is sales messaging? When you go talk to people on social media and you get to know them, and then you invite them to a discovery call or to take a look at your product, your website, or whatever, that is sales messaging. I have an entire free course that if you are engaged with the community and you're posting in those forums, asking questions, being involved in what you're doing with other people, then you get those for free. So yeah, that is the One Person Empire Academy in a nutshell. I hope this has been really helpful, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So try it out.